So, before we start this video, you might have some questions. Why am I bald? Well, the answer is simply put, I am now officially a soldier serving my national service for Singapore, my country. And because of the whole thing that's going on, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You aren't living under a rock. I am now currently home. Everything is postponed or cancelled by a month. So right now I have time to make some videos, so I'm making a video for you all. And I'm sure, like you, like me, a lot of you are going to be working or learning from home in this period of time where everyone can't really leave the house all around the world. So I thought I'll put together a video trying to create a very attainable and easy to copy home-based learning or home-based working setup that will allow you to be as productive and as efficient as you can be when you're doing things differently from home. So I'm not saying, you should go ahead and buy every single thing I show you in this video. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that I've thought of here that you might want to take into account when you're working from home to give yourself more comfort, to make yourself work better. And I understand that when you change environments, like from learning in school or working in an office to working at home, you might very likely be not as productive or not as effective as you are usually. And that is not good if you're trying to keep your job in this pretty bad economy we're undergoing right now. So hopefully my tips and tricks can keep you safe from any RSI and injuries from working too long and too much at home, and also hopefully keep you as sharp, focused and productive as you can be in this period of time while working at home. I know some people work at home very, very well. They enjoy working from home, but some people don't. So hopefully this helps. So I'm gonna guess that most people are going to be working off of a laptop because these are the most common form of computers nowadays. Be it a MacBook or Windows laptop, whatever I'm telling you is gonna work. These are some just general tips and tricks. So I have an Asus Swift 3, and for me this laptop does a great job. It's a quad-core i5 processor, 12 gigs RAM, all that stuff. Essentially, it's fast enough to do general basic tasks and even more advanced tasks. Sometimes I recommend, if you really are going to be stuck in your house for a month plus and you're going to be doing all your work off your own laptop or PC and it's way too slow to do it properly, I suggest maybe investing in a slight upgrade, be it getting a new SSD for your laptop, increasing the amount of RAM, things like that, so that when you work from home, you're not going to be bogged down and slowed down by speed of your processing power. My laptop isn't fast enough for me, so that's not an issue, but I'm guessing most people will be working from a laptop, so the whole setup I'm going to be talking about is generally going to be laptop based. So first things first, this is your plain laptop, and chances are most people are going to be working like this, typing with using their trackpad, plugged in obviously their laptop, and they're not going to have anything added onto it. However, this is, to me, a stupid decision. If you're working at home and you're going to be working your standard hours, you want to be as comfortable as possible, and since you're at home, you have the liberty of setting up whatever you want, however you want it, within reasonable considerations. So the first thing I would do is probably angle my laptop with something like this. So this is a laptop cooler. You don't even need the cooler part of it, you just need a laptop stand, and essentially what this will do is adjust the laptop's height and angle so that it's more comfortable to type on. Now, this is not true for everybody. If your chair is high enough so that your elbows are, your elbows and your arms are parallel to the table, you don't really need to angle the laptop up. But if your chair is too low and it's not an adjustable height chair, then having it angled down is actually going to be a bit more comfortable than if you were to not have it angled and have the laptop keyboard flat onto a table. And this is really a simple solution for more comfort, more ergonomics, and just having a better experience. On top of that, if you get a laptop cooler, it's going to keep your laptop cooler, which means this area that you're typing on and using your stuff on is not going to be as hot, which is going to be more comfortable, especially if you're running your computer and leaving it on pretty much the whole day. It also conserves the battery and longevity of the parts in your laptop by keeping it cool. So getting a laptop cooler is a cheap, easy investment that I think is going to be great for anyone trying to work long hours from a laptop at home. So this is the first recommendation get a laptop stand or laptop cooler, whichever one you can afford and get. It's going to help you a bunch in terms of ergonomics, comfort, and keeping your laptop running well. Another thing I recommend anyone trying to work from home or work from their laptop is to get a wireless mouse. Yes, I know your laptop has a trackpad, and your trackpad might be really good like on a MacBook Pro or a Dell XPS, but honestly, to me, it can't beat the effectiveness of a decent quality wireless mouse. Now, mine's G602, it's a gaming mouse, and it's actually quite a bit costly for anyone just trying to get a setup for a month. But if you can afford something that's $30 to $40, usually you can get something that's really comfortable and good to use while studying and working from home. I definitely recommend getting a mouse. A wired mouse will do, but a wireless mouse is so cheap nowadays anyway, so it's going to give you a very enjoyable and effective experience. If possible, you might also want to get a mouse with extra macro functionality, because that way you can have, a lot of shortcuts easily reachable and stuff, which will make you more productive. So that is awesome. So wireless mouse is my second recommendation. Definitely consider getting one, because trackpads are good, but it has a lot of limitations, especially in terms of comfort, having your hands like this. Okay, another thing I would recommend is a webcam. Now, I don't actually have a webcam on hand because the laptop webcam of mine is perfectly fine. But the thing is, you're going to be shooting a lot, or you're going to be doing a lot of conference calls from your laptop or your desktop. So having a crappy webcam is just going to reflect badly on you, especially if you're doing meetings with clientele, with your boss, with people in your office. If you're trying to get work done, or maybe you're a teacher, using a crappy webcam is A, going to be inconvenient because people can't hear or see you properly. B, it's going to look bad on you if you're trying to impress someone. And C, it might be, result in miscommunication, which is really, really, really not something you want when you're doing conference calls, because it's much less clearer than talking in real life. So you want to get a good webcam. If your laptop webcam is really good with a 720p minimum, like a Dell XPS webcam or a MacBook Pro webcam or even the Acer Swift Trees webcam, and you're happy with the sound quality as well, then you don't need to upgrade this area. But if your webcam is absolute crap, it's a potato, then you probably should get a separate webcam. It's not expensive. You can get something like a Logitech Keo. It's really, really decent, and if you put it in the right situation, it's going to do perfectly fine. Now, another thing I recommend with webcams is that a lot of times the webcam has to deal with what you give it. So if you set it up in the right situations, then it's going to perform much better than if you just haphazardly use your webcam anywhere in the house. So what I recommend is like what I'm doing right now, shooting in front of a window. Ta-da! I can shoot in front of a window and the light is reflecting onto my face. So the webcam is going to perform much better because I'm well lit, and it's going to look less terrible, it's going to look less, blurry, it's going to have less artifacting. And essentially, if you give your webcam a better lit image, it's going to perform better without spending more money. So that is actually another tip. Set up your stuff before a conference call in front of a good light source in your house or in front of a window. It's free, it's easy, it's cheap, and you don't have to spend money to make yourself look much better in a conference call and stuff like that. So that is a tip for you with the webcam. Now, another thing I recommend you get, number 4, is a mechanical keyboard, or just a keyboard that is more comfortable for you than the laptop keyboard. Now, this one is much more optional than the other ones, because the other ones really give big ergonomic upgrades, but this one might be quite subjective. Some people don't like mechanical keyboards, some people don't like big clunky keyboards, some people really enjoy the chiclet keys on their laptop keyboards. That is understandable, and if you really like your laptop keyboard, stick with it. Just make sure that you put your laptop in a comfortable position. But if you give it a shot and you really like it, maybe a mechanical keyboard is a good long-term investment that allows you to perform better, I don't know, while working or learning or gaming or typing. I don't know, up to you. But this is a definite ergonomic improvement for some of you watching out there. For me, I know a mechanical keyboard definitely improves the ergonomics of a setup, especially since I can move this keyboard anywhere I want on the desk. I can put it up to the side, I can put it to the right, I can put it up, I can put it down. Because this keyboard is separate from the computer, I can move it anywhere I like, and to me this is way more convenient than a fixed keyboard or fixed onto my laptop. It's not a must as much as the others, but it's something you could consider adding to your setup for more ergonomics. By the way, if I'm sweating a lot in this video, I'm sorry. I just finished a workout and it's really hot in Singapore right now, and I'm shooting in front of the sun pretty much. So if I'm sweating a lot, I hope you all don't mind. It is what it is. I sweat a lot naturally anyway. I have had comments like that before. I'm trying my best. Let's talk about the fifth thing that I recommend, and that is to get a nice, comfortable pair of earphones or headphones. I'm not saying go and get expensive headphones and earphones. I know not everyone is into that. I know not everyone cares about good sound quality, but if you're doing a lot of conference calls, if you're doing a lot of music listening because you're working from home, then you might want to get something that's at least decent, especially in terms of comfort, because you'll be wearing it for long hours. So if you're doing a long-ass conference call, you don't want to be wearing something that's uncomfortable, makes you sweat a lot, so that there's sweat all over your face, and you want something that is reasonably noise isolating, just in case there are other people living in your house that make a lot of noise. And you might also want something that sounds good and clear at the very least, so that your conference calls are clear and effective and you don't have problems hearing what other people are saying on the call. You do not want to be the guy on Zoom or Skype going like, can you repeat that again? Can you say that again? Can you come again? I didn't hear you properly. That just doesn't reflect nicely on you, especially if you're a teacher or someone meeting a boss or clientele, doing any sort of important work over a teleconference. You're gonna want to be able to communicate and listen to things very clearly and accurately. So having a decent, semi-good pair of headphones and earphones is gonna be quite important. And you don't have to buy something expensive like this. You can go and get like an M20X for full-size headphones, or like a Xiaomi Piston earphone for, you know, cheap in-ear earphones. These are all cheap, simple options that do a great job. And also, I do not recommend doing a conference call with the speakers on your laptop on, because you're going to have echo problems that make everything sound weird and nasty. So I recommend just using headphones and earphones when you are doing a conference call, because you want that stuff to sound proper. That's it for like my setup. Now it seems kind of simple, but this is a simple setup. More fancy upgrades, I would say, is to get another monitor on here, to, you know, maybe a 1080p monitor or even less, just to have a second monitor so you can have more things on your screens at once, so that you don't have to constantly alt-tab and switch between windows to see different pieces of information. If you have a lot of tabs open at once, having a second display might be a really good investment. I know, because my sister is, you know, a lawyer, and she needs a second screen because she has so many documents and reports and laws and little details that she has to put on the screen at any one time. So having a second monitor is a brilliant investment for her. But that's not true for everyone. You might not A, have the funds, or B, you know, require that much screen real estate. But if you're someone working with a lot of documents and you need to be able to switch between different windows and read different things at once, then having two monitors is a really good idea. And that is my final tip. But apart from that, everything else here is quite cheap, very simple, easy to set up, easy to get, and usually can be purchased for a very cheap price, especially if you buy it secondhand, with the earphones, the keyboard, the mouse, and the laptop stand, and even the webcam can be all bought for very cheap off places like eBay, Craigslist, Carousel, depending on where you stay. At the low end of it, this is honestly very attainable. In terms of the price, you can probably get a cheap laptop stand with a cooler, a cheap wireless mouse, a cheap pair of good, decent earphones, and a cheap mechanical keyboard for probably less than $100, especially if you're willing to buy secondhand off of eBay or Craigslist or Carousel, depending on where you stay. So this is what I would think is a very nice and effective home-based learning, home-based work setup that hopefully you can take some ideas from and copy some of, and hopefully this video was helpful. So that's that. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you did like it or found it helpful, please like and subscribe. Obviously that will be greatly appreciated, and comment, because I reply to every single comment. So go ahead, ask away in the comment section. I reply to every single one of you. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.